Hello everybody, Joe Palbrook.
Before I forget, Heidi Ho, Rick, thanks for visiting with me.
Binding.
Yeah, George, you're right. Each of these
Throttle active.
radios are a wee bit different. I say radios, aircraft. So you get it to a half, and then it takes off. Now these are the offending batteries that I used yesterday. Aren't those nice lights? I don't know if y'all remember, by y'all I mean George and Dale. The board in my MD500 was probably a Block 1 or a V1, and as such, I would have already started getting lights. I must have not charged my batteries, shock face. That's why I like these things to have, you know, telemetry. Actually, I just need to see if this thing advertises telemetry. I doubt it. Push the button on the back though and it'll tell you.
6 minutes.
On your radio. You can do a telemetry search, but I think the other lab rats would have figured that out by now. Yeah, I simply didn't have this thing charged. I gotta have a better system. My system kind of sucks. Isn't that neat? Yeah, I love lights, but I did heroics on that MD500, and frankly, if I was going to add lights to that Huey, I would have done it while I had the shell apart. Took out every screw. Trying to do that ELRS modification. What else? What did we talk about? There's so much to talk about, believe it or not. I seldom run out of blather. I know that's difficult to believe, but seldom do. Yeah, eyes. That's why old people run around with the funny glasses, because they have
5 minutes.
removed the cataracts that were obscuring their very sensitive optic nerve, and they wear those glasses. Luckily, I didn't let mine get out of hand. You know, a lot of people try to wait until they're 65 to get the government to buy them new lenses, and the tragedy is that, yep, they'll buy you new lenses, but they're only good for about 5 years. And then they degrade. Yeah, this is the easiest one to fly. There's nothing to it. This is the one I burn up on the ground. So Monday, oh my goodness, we have about 56 days left until we leave. The weather is going to be amazing. It'll be 80 degrees at the end of the week. Weekend news, just hung out with a wife by the pool and partied all day, both days.
4 minutes.
Passed out early in the evening, wake up in the night. Wife going to bed too early. I was up for about an hour in the night. I get this time of year, I mentioned this before, it's hunting season. So I used to have to get up real early for about 30 years, beat the hunters out in the woods. So every year I get a type of insomnia where I'm up 2 or 3 hours in the night, an hour, a couple hours, whatever. But yeah. Had a blast with my wife. It was funny. We were going to invite friends over, and we're like, I'm just too lazy, and we enjoy each other's company so much. We've just been blessed all these years. I was telling the ladies when I picked up my rig from having a new roof put on it, I said, I've admonished my wife that she's not allowed to die.
3 minutes.
Because if she does, there's some chick who I only know in an axillary way in our 3rd tier friend group named Cindy, who has the amazing ability to hide a pill problem for up to 3 years. Right? Because that's who's waiting on me. My wife passes away. So, being an old cop and a nurse, we talk about these things. It takes some of the sting out of life if you examine the good and the bad, the ugly of life. An example is we're in theory getting a new dog here. Her name will be Lily, and she'll be a gray lab. I've already paid the down payment, and if things work out there in Maine, I'll enjoy a new puppy. Yeah, I know. So what we were saying was, what happens if we die before, because listen, living's part of dying, dying's part of living. Nobody gets out of this
2
alive.
minutes.
Y'all have heard me wax existential on this very topic on more than one occasion. So I want to let my son know that, hey, listen, if we get a dog and we die early, it's yours, and he agreed. They're dog people. This thing neat. Just neat. And I fly them all, defaulted now. I fly them all on the third gear, for lack of better terms. Just neat. All right, let's sit down. And I shall use my throttle hold to shut that bitch off. Cool. Got almost 7 minutes. Hang out with me, I have more blather. What else? Okay, so we're coming in, that's the new roof. You won't be able to tell the difference, but holy crap, the thing's hard as a rock. They put on new vent covers. You see the blue in the distance, those are vent covers. I really wanted to tell them to leave them clear because it lets some light in, but they're good. They blew that hard carapace over my sunlight, which I was so happy to have happen because all it does is allow heat to get poured down into the rig. We actually have a type of heat deflector in there to prevent it from getting so hot, even when it's cold outside. Sun just pours in there.
Throttle warning. Switch warning. Flight mode 3.
Yeah, it defaults to flight mode 3. I'm used to these things having crazy reactiveness. So when they don't behave quickly to me, it actually makes me nervous and jerky. Yeah, George, you're right. In the early days you get 3 minutes and you're like, man, that's not enough time, and then you end up with like 11 and 14 minutes with these things, and it's like, that's too much time. I actually get bored a little bit. Okay, are we latched in? No. It is a fiddly latch. Fiddly. Okay, so probably in the next couple of weeks I'm going to order my new Pelican case, because everything I have is in a Harbor Freight Pelican case.
Binding. Throttle active.
And as such, alright, there's a little over halfway, and she lifts off. Yeah, this is a little more squirrely than my Bell, so I have to pay attention to it more. We live by a little municipal airport that has gotten busy. But we're airport people and we secretly love it. See all the new growth on my bushes here? Let me shine my headlight around here. You can't take your eyes off of this thing much. All that light green is new growth. So today, after I fly and get all my running around done, screwing off, what I'll do is fire up the lawnmower and come out and
9 minutes.
let's see, that set of trees you see in the distance are dumping leaves, so I gotta clean all those leaves out of that area. Also by my pool pump over here behind that bush, and there's the Ambition. And over here between my right hand side of the rig that you see and that tree, collected a lot of leaves. So I've got to clean that stuff up. Probably in early March I'll go ahead and start buffing this thing. I'll give her baths and buffer, and I think I'm going to leave the tires that are on there. I'm going to carry a spare tire with me while on the road. We're going into Canada.
8 minutes.
I don't know how difficult it's going to be to get a spare if we're there. We're going to spend a bit of time on their cross-Canadian highway. We'll go up in somewhere between the Great Lakes and then make a right, and wife's got us in Toronto and a bunch of other places. That's going to be pretty cool. And the threat, Dale, is that the year after we may carry our butts all the way back out to Washington and your area. That's the threat. These things are just so cool. This is what and I've said this before, but whatever. These things, this is what we wanted 15 years ago. Scale looking models that flew scale. And yeah, if you'll look it up, it was, what was it? E-Sky, I think.
7 minutes.
They were the ones that came up with the big llama, the BOL, big outdoor llama, and it was about the size, you know, 300 size, 200 size. And they were coaxial, and just without a collective pitch, the way coaxial works is you get about that far and then it just stops, and then you got to dip it down again and get it to go. So it was kind of a, you know, a Genki way of doing business. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, cold. Wife and I don't do cold. It's funny because we do cold, but like here, it gets to be 45, 44 degrees, and it's 90% humidity, and the cold is cutting through your clothing. It's horrifying.
6 minutes.
I could fly this thing forever. Really could. So yeah, George, thanks for being the lab rat on these things and vetting them. I looked closely at that, I don't know, the thing that you were flying the other day, the XK, but what was hurting me was, and it's my line of delineation. If I can't buy spares, I'm not in. But that one, as you would say, I drove by slowly on more than one occasion. I've owned stuff from them before. And you could buy new blades for I had like a Delta thing that was basically a drone. You could fly it as a plane or you could hover it. For years I had it. And I crashed it and never could get it right, and I finally gave it to one of the old men at the club. I love that thing. It got me through COVID.
5
I think it's
minutes.
XK is the company or something. Anyway, they didn't offer spare blades, you know, other than what comes in the package. I'm like, nope, not doing it. Not for $80. I was hoping people had found blades. I actually subscribed to that thread, and no one has actually reported that they found blades that would work. That is so cool. Yeah, I'm resisting the urge too, because you end up with a bunch of these, and a bunch of these end up not getting flown. I'm talking about with me, my behavior. So I don't want to end up like that. All right, putting the finger close to the off switch. I've had enough flying. Yeah, back in the day, we just wish we had enough juice to fly more than 3 minutes. Now this thing will fly for like 14 minutes. It's insane. It's funny, this one has an on and off switch. Okay. Yeah, I gotta save a little blather. I'm gonna walk down to the lake, I hope. Yeah, my eyes had been so bad for so long that I kind of didn't know it. And flew one of my favorite airplanes into the trees here last year and had to go get it, and that was a trick. You know, I always do my own
Switch warning.
epitaph.
Low rates. Takeoff. Stabilize mode. 0 volts. Landing. Takeoff.
So I wonder if you are in the middle. I don't want to do that stuff by my pool. How funny would it be if this thing started beating itself to death in a chicken dance and it ended up in my pool? Anywho, I had a unusual crash last year into the trees down by the lake of my puddle
No
star,
battery. Battery critical.
and had to go up in that damn thing and get it.
8.4 volts.
I wonder what I wanted to do while we're standing here. You and I. Let's go ahead and bring the voltage back to 7.5 and 7.2 respectively. The voltage call out. 7.5 for A1 and A2 voltage will be, let's say 7.3. And that'll let you know it's time to put this thing on the ground. We may fly this one out. I don't use a
Throttle active. 8.4 volts.
yeah, I don't use a timer here anymore. Just use voltage. Okay, there's 3/4 of a throttle. And then she goes through some weird thing and then lifts off. It's hard for me to get used to. Isn't that beautiful? God. Even be prettier if I had a white light on the tail like George. But I do not. So yeah, what I'll do is you know, I seldom spend money on myself because I'm so cheap, but what I'm gonna do is
8.3 volts.
get a $81 Pelican case that's about the size of a carry-on bag, and put my 3 helis in there. And I just found out they call that pluck foam. So what you do is you pluck the foam around the shape of the thing and you stick it in there. And if you screw up, you're kind of done, because I didn't, for the longest time, there was no vendor for pluck foam. But now there is. The funny thing about it is they know you want it so bad. It's like $16 for a sheet of that stuff. It's not that much. You'd think it would be plenty,
8.2 volts.
but it's not. But yeah, I'll put all 3 or 4 helicopters in that case, and that's how they'll travel inside that rig. And when I go out to the club, I won't have, you know, 3 different boxes that are cardboard that are slowly dying, by the way. You know, the cardboard's dying. Ooh, that's crazy. Let's set this thing down for a second right here, and we'll test something.
8.1 volts. Throttle hold.
Okay, so we're going ahead and shut down. What do I want to test?
Throttle active. Middle rates. Middle rates. High rates. High rates.
Let's see if I'd actually get high rates out of this thing. Let's see what it do. Yeah, you get it up to about 3/4 throttle and it lifts up on its own. Does that feel like high rates to me?
8 volts.
I can't tell. George flinging this thing up and down the road. Don't have enough room. Yeah, it probably is. cool thing is you can shut that damn stabilization off if you want. And I can probably default it that way, I think. I'm not sure. So I will bring the radios and just stick them in the closet.
Stabilize mode.
Back on stabilized mode, flying it around the yard. My fingers aren't quite there. Oh, by the way, I see so let's see. All right, pretend like you were young and you were in the pool too long and you let your eyes get waterlogged and you ended up with a haze. That's what I see when the sun is out. So I have to really kind of be careful of my eyes. I mean, it's a glare, for lack of better terms. No, I didn't flip this back.
7.8 volts.
Let's see if I have any kind of greater control. So not in yaw, but yeah, forward I do. Hopefully it won't fall out of the sky. I change my rates. I don't know. Just something I have to dick with as time goes on. So shout outs, McMoyer. Yeah, you thought I was a wizard, but no, I just had understood the RC group forums a long time. And I think Virginia Bareback Boy figured out how all that works on a different level. I just stay with what I know. What else? Yeah, I already said hi to his ear, Rick. Good to see you out on the forums. Yeah, you got snow up there in New York and then some. Y'all are used to that stuff. I am not. Probably driving my wife crazy. We're gonna go out here and maybe land on the sidewalk. Let's see. I just want to test that battery out. Because here in a minute it's going to start dropping precipitously, as they say, or fairly quickly. I may need to set it down elsewhere. Maybe. Yeah, 7.5. Actually, it took it a while to climb down the other day. We shall see.
Stabilization off.
Sounds a little like the lady from Logan's Run, right? You know what I'm saying?
7.5 volts.
Just a little. Amber does.
High rates. High rates.
Just want to see if it seems like any more.
Low battery.
Okay, there we go.
Stabilize mode.
So the trick is to
Low rates. Low rates. Low battery.
have it above, just slightly above what it considers to be low battery.
Low battery.
So we don't cause grief on the battery itself. Okay.
7.4.
Coming down.
Volts. Low battery. Throttle hold.
Yeah, I like that, being able to
Low
just
battery.
shut that joker off. Okay, so I could have flown it for another, 0.2 of a volt or whatever, but I want to go easy on the batteries. All right, you'll hear from me in a bit, blathering. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And we'll see you in a bit for reals. We'll be down at the lake. See you. Oh, there's the girls.
So, let's go for a walk.
I have a pocket full of batteries and an itch to use them. More importantly, I got my sunglasses with me in case that dang sun pops out. That will blind me. Oh, my neighbors, what'd they buy? Maybe, is that, no, I don't know what that, that's almost the size of a water heater. I don't know. They have the most beautiful house, that yellow house. What is that? It looks like a water heater. The water heater might have pooped the bed. Mine has 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel. It's just so old and it should have burned out a long time ago. Now we're going to slip down here and see if we can fly. My neighbor's got dogs, and generally I don't come down until he's gone. They're so nice, you know, I try to leave them be. These neighbors here, who allow me to walk in their backyard, they got a new drain field the other day. We were on septic out here, we're so far out. God, it's a little cold. But I sent this neighbor a note the other day and told him I'd be walking through his yard. They're so nice. He rode his motorcycle yesterday. Looks like they're doing yard work too. Yeah, the shed that was here is gone, so that makes it easier to drive through here. It was right there. There's the new shed. And what I gotta look for down here is make sure that kayak, cool, the kayak's down here. And all I'd need to do is go back home and get a life preserver in case things went bad. Whew, the lake's up. It sure is. I love my neighbors, they're awesome. I haven't seen Kip in a while. I haven't seen anybody, I haven't been down here. There's your beautiful egret. You see him? Ooh, it's a different color out here. So, I want you to picture in your minds a lush color, you know, your a lush color scheme. Let's say you're modifying a photograph and you punch it up a little bit with saturation. Does that make sense? So with my right eye, everything was no longer saturated. It's real light color. And with my left eye, it was still saturated real pretty.
Low rates, takeoff, stabilize mode, 0 volts.
And then I got both eyes done, and there's no longer what I consider to be a lush saturation. You know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just probably what happens as you get new eyeballs.
Throttle hold, flaps, low rates, stabilization off.
The problem I have with this radio is that the processor is so small that it what ends up happening is
Middle rates, low rates.
well, just a second, I gotta make sure I have sissy mode on here. I forget how to do sissy mode.
Flaps half, flaps up.
There's no flaps.
Middle rates,
Yeah,
low rates.
it's as if I haven't ever flown this thing before. Oh, here it is.
Automatic. Stabilization.
There we go. Need a little bit of help. You know, guys, you get to a certain age,
Throttle active.
you need a little bit of help. All right, taking off. You know, I could have done a
Throttle hold.
go ahead and make sure we have you know, I'm terrible. This is why I do not have a pilot's license, because I'm here to tell you I would not do a proper pre-flight and then you'd read about me on Blanco Lirio or Taking Off or any of them other
Throttle active.
channels where doofuses get themselves killed. That would be me. what's going on. Okay, I'm steering to the right. Don't much care for that. Went ahead and hit. One guy was talking about instant trim the other day on I think it was Facebook. Yep, instant trim is your pal.
Minutes.
Instant trim is your buddy. Why don't I have as much control as I would like? Am I on low rates? What rates am I on? Let's see.
Middle rates.
We're on middle rates now. There we go. Got some. Gosh, I need some control. This is definitely new to me, sort of. I always like to get a little cameo out of the camera. So this is Lake Majori, Cynthia and Gretchen.
3 minutes.
When I came here, I did not have enough money to move out on the lake. And then I fell in love with my house. So we have simply never moved out here, and it was kind of a mistake, to be honest with you. But we love our neighbors so much, and they're so kind to us. They allow me to come down and use the lake anytime I want. And we raise each other's kids. And the guy that owns the house whose yard I just walked through, I think he might be doing a lease option with the guy that's there now, Chad. It's his employee. He was so cool to me. He said I leased the house to Chad with the express option for you to be able to go down to the lake and fly your airplanes. And if you didn't agree with it, we weren't going to do it. How nice. Well, it appears I still know how to fly. I'm all happy about that. Yeah, I'm a little slow. Yeah. Did I catch everybody? Sand crab, who never sees my videos, I'm certain. Of course, Gretchen and... Yeah, what a neat name for a YouTube channel. Synthesis, is it? Synthesis? I don't know. It's great. Yeah. Of course, Dale and the other 2 or 3 people that watch me. Actually, there's about 17 people that watch me, whoever y'all are. Thank you for stopping by and peeking behind the veil of my silly little life. Alrighty, we'll give that battery a rest.
Throttle hold.
Cool. Let's fly the other plane. I don't know why his dogs aren't out here. They're cute as hell. They're like, man, you're not my daddy.
Telemetry lost.
They're 2 little labs. I hope they're all right.
30 seconds.
So let's switch gear here. We're going to go to... I'll tell you what.
20
I
seconds.
think it was that guy Prop Gear that had discussed
10,
laying hands
9,
on
8, 7.
laying hands on O-rings that wouldn't that were easier to use, because that's what holds my props on here, prop savers. Okay, what's that called? Puddle stars? So that'd be in the P's. Here it is. Stars, what I call it.
Throttle warning. Switch warning. 0 volts. Throttle hold. Flaps at middle rates. Stabilization on.
So for this thing, I use battery telemetry because I have a bigger radio in here. The other one I don't. Okay, let's see if I can remember how this works.
Battery critical. No battery. minus for RSSI critical. Battery critical.
So I have the battery.
0 volts. Battery critical.
Yeah, y'all are screwed. I'm having a long piffle today.
Battery critical. Low battery.
It's been so long since I've flown this that I can't remember which way my
Battery
battery
critical.
telemetry goes. I think I might have just found it. Maybe. There it is. Yep. So yeah, on the road, this plane, I'm arguing with myself, which I do with some odd frequency.
12.4 volts.
What I need to do is see if my turbo timber will fit below deck in my rig, because my OG timber has been beat up so bad that I don't know if it's going to tolerate this trip. And I even gave some thought to well, you know, if I kill it, then I'll just buy something else while I'm on the road, but
12.5 volts.
I don't know that that's doable.
Active. Throttle active.
It's funny. It one of the ESCs has a brake on it, and the other one doesn't. All right, so let's take off, okay? Oops, wait a minute. Let's make sure. Ooh. Okay, we got a rudder, we got an elevator, and we have, yeah.
12.4 volts.
See that? I did a pre-flight. Taking off. I crashed that one into that set of trees directly in front of me. And I think it's because I couldn't see. I genuinely do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I've got a battery for each of these two airplanes. Oh man, I just stepped in an ant mound, I think.
12 volts.
And what I'll do is I'll fly a couple this morning and see if I can't come back out this afternoon and fly. I haven't done an afternoon fly out here. I might even bring a proper airplane. I hated these things when I first saw them. And I was getting a lot of pressure. You know, you need to buy a 3D profile plane. I'm like, well, they're ugly.
11.8 volts.
And they're like, yeah, but they're the coolest thing on the planet. And I go, but they're ugly. Yeah, but you'll, you know, enhance your skills and make yourself a better pilot. And I go, but they're ugly. And that went on for some years. And then finally, I relented, and I got, and Anthony knew exactly how to get to me. He goes, hey, listen, there's this value hobby company that'll sell you a profile that's a third of the price of Twisted Hobbies. And what you do is you buy that $35 plane, and he says, I'll help you get a drivetrain on it that's way cheaper than what they say at Twisted Hobbies. And for, you know, like $150, you'll have a 3D profile plane, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And I needed a project. Like in the spring, I like to have a project, like I did with a radio here, and the pluck foam Pelican case that's coming for all my helicopters. I like to have a project. So, like last year, I think he had me on the whoops, which I have not taken advantage of on the road. I'm not really certain why.
11.3 volts.
I just never did take advantage of them, even though they're cool. So, I built or assembled the value hobby version of the 540 and wore it out, like over a 2-year period, just wore it out. There was more glue than there was plane. It's fun. Oh my God, he was right. Just like I was right about FPV. He didn't want FPV. He even bought FPV and never flew it for a long time. So anywho, I finally killed my value hobby. You know what I did was I flew it until it rotted, and like my T-28. I just literally flew it until it rotted. So what I ended up doing was
11.1 volts.
buying the proper Twisted Hobbies 540, which is amazing. And I used the drivetrain just like he had suggested in the event that I fell in love with 3D, which I told him I was never going to do. Then I would go that route. And sure enough, in fact, the same drivetrain is on here, on the Puddle Star.
11 volts.
Yeah, I love voltage telemetry, and I can't imagine flying without it. I do on a couple of things, obviously, the cheap helicopters and the actually I could cure that if I wanted to. The little Edge TX. I just have a timer. This one though, I wanted telemetry. And all I'd have to do is plug in a telemetry module into the Edge TX, but it's just unnecessary. It flies for 5 minutes and then you get another battery. So these will join me on the road. All four of my helicopters will join me on the road.
11.2 volts.
I'm going to see, I'm going to put a piece of tape on it because I never fly it anyway. If my I just need to fly it. The turbo timber, the full-size turbo timber that I have, the 1 point whatever meter. I think I have the original. I know I do.
11.1 volts.
DSMX module in there, and I need to see if I can get telemetry out of it for battery. If I can't, then what I'll probably do is do a little swappy swap, if that's what I end up doing. I'm going to fly the OG timber and see if my landing gear fix is going to work. There's some dude that has beefed up stuff on the thread that he sells.
11 volts.
He sells. He 3D prints them.
Low battery.
Wing over. Anywho, see if it tolerates. I did some modifications to it after I broke it, and see if it works.
10.9 volts.
By taking it out to the club and flying it. But if it doesn't look like it's going to make it, I'll see if my turbo timber, which I never fly, would work. And there again, if I can't get battery telemetry out of it, I don't have another stabilized receiver. I like stabilized. If it's real windy, it's not fun for me to fly. Screw you, bitches.
11 volts.
But yeah, I could do a clean swap and not have to redo the receiver. I have a Free Sky stabilized receiver and the OG, and I have DSMX with
10.9
safe on the
volts.
other airplane. I don't have safe, but I have the AS3X enabled. I don't even know how to do safe.
Low battery.
All right, let's bring her in. But I need to measure the thing to make sure it fit in the bay in my rig. Landing.
Throttle hold. Throttle hold.
Well, kids, gosh, I just can't thank you enough for hanging out with me. I almost feel bad because I know
11.2
Dale's a...
volts.
What do we got here? No spiders, no. Well, they must have killed them. Yeah, from South America, we ended up with what they call fire ants. Ounce per ounce, their venom is every bit as strong and as harsh as a rattlesnake's venom. Luckily, they're tiny little creatures, but nonetheless, each bite packs an unbelievable punch. Like, crippling. Anywho, yeah, I'm just going to figure out what I need to carry up to Presque Isle with me, airplane-wise. And I think it's going to end up, because we have we have a grass strip, it's going to end up being either the OG timber, it's a shame they don't sell that thing anymore, because I'd certainly buy one, or the
11.3 volts.
or the turbo timber, and I think there are several turbo timbers. I think I have the OG turbo timber. That's what I think I have. Cool. Guys, dogs didn't come out. They were cute and everything, but I don't want them chasing my plane. That's a nice pontoon. Got that thing up and running. A little 75 will push it along adequately. Not win any speed records. But yeah, life is good. That's the bottom line. In review, got good eyes. Got my rig roof redone. 'Cause that thing deviled me. You know, you had to go up there every time you stopped. Every time you stopped to make sure you didn't tear a hole in that membrane that's as skinny as a human's skin. It's terrible. Got a few more things I need to do to it. I'm gonna do yard work today, which I secretly love. Just getting out and moving around, man. You gotta move that body, boy. Canal's got water in it. Yeah, just getting jazzed. I got about 2 months before we leave, and you'd think, oh, that's all the time in the world. No. I gotta going to the dentist in a few days to, yeah, all we do when we come back is go to the doctor and fix everything that's busted. I had to replace a ceiling fan on the patio the other day. Damn thing just stopped working. But yeah, fix things that are busted. And rest, we get a lot of rest. Now by the time we end up in Presque Isle by May 15th, that's when the real rest begins, because you really don't have anything you gotta be doing. And by resting, I mean we do a lot of hiking. A lot of hiking. But anywho, Gretchen, hope you don't have severe allergies in the spring. Cynthia, I hope you get over your nuisance cold pretty quick. You're young, so that'll rip through. Here we're having problems with influenza because people got over COVID and they don't want any shots, so they don't take their flu shots. And that creates a huge problem here in the U.S. We have 330 million people, almost a third of a billion people. And yeah, that can be bad. All right, thanks for hanging out with me and enjoying the little slice of my whiskey tango life. And I'll leave you with this over here. Florida is 60 days through. It's a 90-day winter. So the plants literally think it's spring. See ya.